Hi everybody, welcome to Maths Today, where we're going to be thinking about all of the things that we've done in time for the last week. Now, if you haven't done the activities from Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, please go and do those before you start today, because I don't want anybody getting confused. We want everyone to feel confident before they do today's maths. The main activity is on your class dojo. It's very similar to yesterday, so we're just going to have a bit of a recap here with me. Let me swap hands. We've got our clock face, we've got the hours in red, we've got the minutes in blue, hour hand is red, minute hand is blue. And I think on your Class Dojo activity today, the hour hand is a different colour to the minute hand, so it might make it a little bit easier for some people. Okay, let's recap then. When this hour hand is pointing straight at the number, we know that it's o'clock. We can check. Look, the minute hand hasn't moved at all. It's pointing straight at the top. It hasn't counted any minutes. So we know that this shows 4 o'clock. As the minute hand moves around, the hour hand moves, and we can use the hour hand to estimate. Here's halfway between 4 and 5, and it's not quite pointing there yet. If we use the hour hand, we can guess that this shows quarter past. We can check using the path of the minute hand, it has travelled quarter of the way around. Think about those fractions that we looked at. Think about that quarter shape here. So this is quarter past 4. 4 o'clock, quarter past 4. The minute hand keeps moving around and the hour hand keeps moving. And when it gets to halfway between the 4 and the 5, we know that this is half past 4. The minute hand has travelled halfway round the clock face. So there's two things that tell us that this is half past. Hour hand is halfway in between 4 and 5, and the minute hand has gone halfway round the clock face. Half past 4. Back to the top. 4 o'clock, quarter past 4, half past 4. Now here's the tricky one from yesterday. If we're following a pattern, we'd say that this was 3/4 past 4. But look, it's super close to the 5. It's nearly pointing straight at the 5, but not quite. So because it's nearer the 5, we're always thinking about the hour that we are nearest to. It is quarter, this section here, quarter to 5. That's the tricky one. Quarter to 5, because it's nearly 5 o'clock. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. 4 o'clock, quarter past 4, half past 4, quarter to 5, 5 o'clock. Let's do a couple more together so we get the hang of it. Let's start off at 2 o'clock. Everybody ready? 2 o'clock, quarter past 2, half past 2, quarter to 3. 3 o'clock. Let's do those ones again. What's the time? 2 o'clock. Quarter past 2, half past 2, quarter to 3, 3 o'clock. Let's look at that quarter to 3. See, it's nearly pointing straight across at the number 3, nearly. And this hand here has got quarter to go before we get to 3. We're always thinking about which hour are we closest to. When it's half past, we still talk about half past 2. As soon as we go past here, it's nearly 3 o'clock. Quarter to 3. Okay, a few more then. Let's start over this one. What's the time? 1 o'clock. What's the time? Quarter past 1. What's the time? Half past 1. What's the time? Quarter to 2. And what's the time? 2 o'clock. Now, if you're finding it really tricky, that's okay. You've got the videos from yesterday and the day before that can help explain these different times. So you can go back and watch those. That's totally fine. They're there for you to use. I'm going to choose a time at random now, and you have to tell me what it is. We will start with lots of 1:45 times. What's the time? 11:45. What's the time? 7:15. What's the time? 11:45. What's the time? 2:45. What's the time? 6:15. Now we're going to change to include 1/2 and 1/4 and o'clock. Get ready. I'll give you a little bit longer to think about it before I tell you the answer. What's the time? 6 o'clock. What's the time? 4:30. What's the time? 1:45. What's the time? 1:15. What's the time? 11:30. What's the time? 9:30. What's the time? 11:45. What's the time? 2 o'clock. What's the time? 4:15. What's the time? 5:45. What's the time? 8:15. A couple more. What's the time? 9:45. What's the time? 11 o'clock. What's the time? 12:15. Last one. Ooh, what's the time? Look at that hour hand. Just gone past. Yep. 3:15. Now, if when we were doing that activity, you were finding it tricky, rewind and do it all again. The more you see it, the more you hear it, the more you will recognize it, and it will be much, much easier. On your Class Dojo, there is one activity for you to do where you write the time shown on the clocks. It's just the same as yesterday in your book. Later on, if people are looking for an extension, I will post another idea of what you could do with those clock faces. But I'll share that on Class Dojo, not on your to-do list. Have a go at telling the time, everybody. If you're finding it tricky, send me a message and I can do more practice like this later on today. Enjoy, send me a photo as soon as you've finished. Bye.